Welcome to the Highlights Show. I'm Phil Kessler.
And I'm Amy Ryan. It's great to be here. Honestly, I feel kind of heavy right now. I mean, we just clicked leave meeting on that webinar and my head is spinning.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm just sitting here thinking about how many times I have completely misjudged someone's behavior.
It's actually uncomfortable to sit with.
It's a heavy realization. You go into a session thinking you're going to learn about, I don't know, therapy tools.
Right, or weighted blankets.
Yeah, and you come out realizing you've been misreading an entire language of behavior for years. It's like getting a decoder ring for things you thought you understood.
But you were reading them completely upside down. That's exactly it. We just watched Jordan Smiley's presentation on sensory processing, and I feel like I need to go back in time and apologize to every kid I ever labeled as rowdy.
Or clumsy or aggressive.
Yes. It just changes the whole narrative.
It really, really does. And I think what was so effective was taking it out of the abstract.
It's usually so clinical.
Right.
So sterile. But he put it right in the context of trauma-informed care. Because if you get this wrong, if you misinterpret why someone is crashing into walls,
you could be causing active harm.
You are. You're not just being unhelpful.
So let's unpack that, because the first thing that really got me was this whole distinction he made.
Seekers and avoiders.
Yes. Because I think most people, myself included, we think of sensory issues as avoiding,
right.
The kid who covers his ears when a siren goes by, or someone who can't stand the tags in their shirt.
That's the classic image, the hypersensitive response. Society kind of gets that, or at least tolerates it.
We have empathy for that.
We do.
But the seeker, that blew my mind. The idea that someone might need to crash into a sofa.
Or wrestle really hard.
Or body slam a wall just to feel okay. I never connected that to sensory processing. I just thought that was
bad behavior.
Yeah, a discipline issue.
And that's where the terminology gets so critical. He spent a lot of time on proprioception.
It's a big word.
It is. And you can see people's eyes, glaze over when they hear it.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's your body's internal GPS. It tells you where your limbs are in space without you looking.
So like if I close my eyes and touch my nose, that's proprioception.
That's it, exactly. Your muscles and joints are sending these tiny signals to your brain saying, the arm is here, the hand is moving there.
Okay.
Now imagine the GPS is just broken. You're floating. You don't know where your own edges are. It's like being an astronaut whose tether just snapped.
And that's the seeker, that feeling of floating.
Yes, a proprioceptive seeker isn't being aggressive when they slam into a wall. They are frantically trying to get feedback.
They need that impact.
They need that high-impact collision to tell their brain, here I am, I exist, I'm solid. It's not aggression. It's an attempt to locate themselves.
Wow. That reframing it's everything. It turns acting out into a medical necessity.
It does.
It reminds me of the bear hug example. For some people, a tight squeeze isn't affection, it's regulation. But if you don't know that,
it can be a nightmare. Especially if you're an avoider.
Right.
And that's the core tension, isn't it? In classrooms, in clinics, one person needs silence and distance to feel safe, and the other needs impact and pressure.
And you stop punishing the behavior.
You start addressing the need.
Speaking of addressing the need, we have to talk about the gear. I loved that.
The visual aids were so helpful.
He didn't just get theory, he literally held up his own weighted vest. And it was not what I expected.
No, it wasn't some beige medical device.
He said it was a rucking vest from Academy Sports. I thought that was so brilliant, so practical. It looked, tactical, athletic.
That matters so much. Dignity is a huge part of this. If the tool makes you look different, you're not going to use it.
Especially not a teenager.
No way.
Yeah.
A rucking vest just looks like you're training for CrossFit or something. It removes the stigma.
But let's talk about why it works. I understood deep pressure as a concept, but the physiology of it.
It's mechanical.
It's not just about feeling cozy.
No, not at all. It's regulating the nervous system. The pressure sends constant inhibitory signals to the brain. It's calming that fight or flight response.
So it's an external anchor for a drifting nervous system.
That's a great way to put it, yes.
But, and this is where it got really interesting for me, there are rules.
Oh, yeah.
I would have thought, okay, if it helps, just wear it all day.
Absolutely not. That was the clearest warning, the 30-minute limit.
That's the most common mistake people make, he said. If you wear it too long, your body just adapts to the weight and it stops working.
It's habituation. Like when you walk into a house that smells like coffee, 5 minutes later, you don't smell it anymore. Your brain just tunes it out.
So you have to cycle it. On for 30, off for 30.
To keep the brain paying attention.
And the other rule that got people in the chat going was the weight.
The 10% rule.
Yeah, because you'd think, more is better, right? Pile on the blankets, get the heavy vest.
Which is a recipe for disaster. There should be roughly 10% of the person's body weight. He's so serious about this.
Because you could compromise them physically.
You can affect their breathing, their posture.
Yeah.
It goes from therapeutic to dangerous really, really fast.
Okay, this leads to the moment in the webinar that I think I'm going to be thinking about for weeks.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The biochemical drop.
Yep.
This was the biggest aha moment for me. I think I actually gasped.
This is such a crucial concept, and it's almost totally missing from the general conversation about this stuff.
So he paints this picture. You have a client, a seeker, under a weighted blanket. They're finally calm.
They're regulated. The pressure is working.
And then, time's up. Dinner time. So you just whip the blanket off.
And chaos ensues.
Total meltdown. They scream, maybe swing at you. And my first reaction yesterday would have been, oh, they're being a brat because they didn't want to give up the comfy blanket.
A behavioral tantrum.
But that's completely wrong.
It's not a behavior. It is a physiological crash.
It's biochemical.
Exactly. When you're under that deep pressure, your brain is releasing serotonin, dopamine, all the things that make you feel safe. It's a chemical high of safety.
So if you rip that pressure away instantly,
those levels drop off a cliff. It's not a choice. It's a biochemical withdrawal. Their body is literally going into shock.
That's terrifying to think how often that must happen in schools. Okay, time's up.
And then the kid explodes and gets punished for it.
We punish them for a chemical crash that we caused.
And that's where the trauma-informed lens becomes non-negotiable. Doing that can actually re-traumatize a client. You're teaching them that safety is fleeting.
That it can be snatched away without warning.
Which confirms their worst fears about the world.
So the solution, it was so simple, but I never would have thought of it.
Counting down.
It's counting down.
You're treating the removal of pressure like a landing procedure, not a light switch. You don't just cut the engines at 30,000 feet.
You glide down. You say, okay, 5 more minutes.
2 more minutes. Maybe you fold the blanket back halfway. You let the body adjust.
It gives the nervous system a chance to catch up before the external aid is gone.
And it respects them. It's working with them, not doing something to them.
Okay, I want to pivot to the second half because we went from proprioception to tactile dysfunction.
A sense of touch.
And this is where things got complicated and honestly a little scary.
This is where the risk of misunderstanding is the highest, I think.
Yeah.
Proprioception issues might get you labeled clumsy. Tactile issues can get you labeled creepy.
Or predatory, or dangerous. He brought up the tickle monster.
Right. We've all seen it.
And it seems cute when they're 5. But when you apply that behavior to a teenager...
especially a male teenager, the optics change completely.
They do.
A tactile seeker craves input. They might need to touch a certain fabric, or they might just crave that skin-on-skin contact. But to the outside world...
it looks like flirting. Or it looks like aggression.
Exactly. If a client is constantly trying to touch people or bombing into them for contact, society reads that as sexual interest or a physical threat.
And he pointed out how dangerous that is for a neurodivergent client. They're just trying to satisfy a nerve ending.
And the world reads it as, this person is making a pass at me.
The consequences are huge. You're talking about people ending up in the justice system.
It's a tragedy of translation. And the exploitation risk here, that was a hard pill to swallow. If a client is starved for touch, they become incredibly vulnerable.
People will trade attention or favors to get that need met.
Yes. If the only way I can get the hug my body needs to function is to do something I shouldn't, I might do it. The biological drive is that strong. It's like starvation.
You'll eat from a dumpster if you're hungry enough.
And you'll accept touch from anyone, safe or unsafe, if you're touch starved enough.
So what's the fix? Because we can't just let people go around touching whoever they want.
No, absolutely not. Boundaries still exist. It's about education, teaching time and place.
You validate the need, but correct the method.
Exactly.
I loved the personal story he shared about his partner. He was so open about it that even he, as a professional, uses tickling for regulation, but they have explicit communication around it.
That was a perfect model of consent. He doesn't just grab her. He says, I need this right now. Is that okay? It turns a compulsion into a consensual interaction.
And for clients who can't do that verbally yet, he suggested role-playing.
Yes, teaching that touch meanings change. A hug with your mom is different than a hug with your boss. These are invisible rules that need to be made explicit.
And sometimes you just need a replacement. The Play-Doh suggestion made me laugh, but it's brilliant.
It's redirection. If your hands need to be busy, give them something to do that isn't touching another person.
Yeah, fidgets, textured fabrics.
Whatever works.
He called them easy wins. I made a list. The first one was just cut the tags off clothes.
So simple. But it eliminates this constant low-level irritant. A tag can feel like a razor blade if you're tactile defensive.
Imagine trying to do math while someone is scratching your neck.
You can't.
And then the compression garments. Using tight clothes, like Under style stuff.
That's a great hack. It provides that squeezing feedback,
Yeah.
but it's subtle. You can wear it under a uniform.
It's like a permanent, gentle hug nobody else can see.
Right.
And heavy work, which sounds like manual labor.
But it's therapy. Having a client carry groceries or push a heavy cart.
It's functional proprioception.
It is. You aren't doing therapy, you're just helping out. But biologically, you're regulating the whole system.
It's stealth therapy. I love that.
Exactly.
I want to touch on the avoider side one last time. The point about the clumsy kid really stuck with me.
Right. Because they might stand too close or too far away.
And it's because they literally can't judge the risks.
It's that internal map again. If the map is distorted, you might stand 6 inches from someone's face, not to be intimidating, but because your brain tells you that's where here is.
And treating that as a boundary issue, like you're being rude, it just doesn't work.
No, because it's not a choice. It's a perception error. You have to help them recalibrate the map, not punish them for having a blurry one.
It all comes back to that empathy through science, once you understand the biology of it.
The judgment just evaporates.
Yeah.
And that's why this session was so valuable. It moves us beyond just identifying a problem to actually fixing it.
Without causing more trauma.
Right. We're moving from just labeling to problem solving.
And honestly, if you're listening to this, you really need to watch the full webinar.
Oh, definitely.
Seeing Jordan's demeanor, he's so calm, so non-judgmental.
And the Q&A was gold. Seeing him answer specific questions about vest fitting in real time.
Yeah.
You can't get that from a summary. It just humanizes the whole thing.
And seeing him check the chat and respond to people's specific fears makes you realize you're not alone in this.
I think my final takeaway, if I had to boil it down, is that shift in questions. We spend so much time asking, what is wrong with you?
Or why are you doing that? And the better question is,
what does your body need right now?
That's the game changer.
It is. We punish people for biological needs. When we stop doing that and start meeting the need,
the behavior usually takes care of itself.
Yep.
I love that. What does your body need right now? I'm definitely going to look at my weighted blanket differently tonight.
Good call.
I might even count down before I take it off, just to be safe.
Treat the landing carefully.
Thanks for diving in with us. Catch you on the next one.